Stories are not just meant to entertain. Within every tale lies a hidden lesson, a spark of wisdom, and a truth that can change the way we see life. These timeless tales remind us that kindness defeats cruelty, courage rises above fear, and love always conquers hate. Sparkles, stories teach us that true strength lies in kindness, real courage in facing. Some people ignore stories, thinking they are just tales, but the wise know that inside every story lies a lesson that can change hearts, open mind. So now, let us begin the journey into a story not just to entertain the heart, but to touch it, to inspire it, and perhaps even to change a life. Hello there, little boy. Would you like a piece of candy? The child froze, fear flooding his eyes as he looked up at the witch. His scream pierced the air, and his mother, hearing it, rushed toward the sound. But before she could reach him, the witch muttered an incantation and suddenly took on the form of the mother herself. What are you doing? Stay away from my son, the mother cried. What nonsense, the witch sneered, now wearing the mother's face. This boy is my child. The boy looked back and forth between the two women, confused and trembling. Unable to recognize his real mother, he clung desperately to the witch. Then we'll see who the real mother is, said the witch. The child will choose. The boy hesitated, but when his mother leaned down and gently held him, he nestled into her arms and whispered, Mama. Do you see, she said softly. He knows me by my scent. The witch's eyes darkened with anger. In a flash, she pulled them apart and tried to snatch the boy away. Wait, said the mother firmly. If you claim to be his mother, then let him hug you too. The witch reached out and embraced the child, but he stiffened, pushing her away. The more she pressed, the more frightened he became, until he burst into tears in his mother's arms. Mommy, the boy cried, panic rising in his voice. Don't be afraid, my darling, his mother whispered. Come home with me, where I can hold you in my arms. At that very moment, the fairies appeared, raising a great shimmering wall of magic between the witch and the child. Furious, the witch thrashed and screamed, her disguise shattering as she reverted back into her true, twisted form. You cannot take him from me, she shrieked. But the fairies were stronger. With a wave of their wands, they lifted the boy gently into the air and placed him safely into his mother's embrace. Then, with a snap of enchantment, they sealed the witch inside a cage of light. At last, the danger was over. The mother and her child returned to their village, their hearts filled with joy. For true love and compassion will always triumph over evil. But far away, in a shadowed castle, another darkness stirred. The vain and cruel Queen Hela summoned her chamberlain. Dummkopf, she commanded. Unveil my magic mirror. The bumbling servant rushed forward, tugging at the heavy cover, only to stumble and send the cloth tumbling over himself. You fool! Queen Hela snapped, her eyes blazing. Out of my sight at once. The queen stood before her mirror, gazing at her reflection with pride. Then she asked, Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? The mirror glowed and answered, In this land, my queen, you are no longer the fairest. Snow White's beauty now surpasses yours. Queen Hela's face twisted with rage. That cannot be. No one is more beautiful than I am. Her fury shook the very walls of the castle, and her black heart seethed with jealousy. At once, she devised a cruel plan to rid herself of Snow White. A few days later, while the dwarves toiled in the mines, Snow White sat by the window, mending their worn clothes with gentle hands. Suddenly, a sharp knock echoed through the cottage door. Once, twice, 3 times. Curious, Snow White peered through the door. An old, bent woman stood outside, holding a basket of shining apples. Who are you? Snow White asked softly. I am but a humble saleswoman, the woman replied with a crooked smile. I carry the finest apples you will ever taste. Would you like to try one? Snow White hesitated, unsure if she should trust the stranger. But the apples gleamed so red and tempting, and she had always loved them. Here, child, said the old woman, lifting one from her basket. Take a free sample, the juiciest of them all. Snow White reached out, accepted the apple, and took a bite. But the fruit was poisoned. Before she could even cry for help, She collapsed to the floor, silent and still. Down the road, Prince Antoine rested his weary horse beneath the shade of a tall tree. He had traveled far, chasing the vision of a beautiful face he had once seen reflected in the sky. Not far ahead, he spotted an old woman hobbling along the roadside. He was about to approach her and ask for directions when, to his shock, she suddenly transformed before his eyes, revealing herself as none other than Queen Hela. Both prince and horse froze in fear, and Antoine wisely decided not to go near her. Later, while riding along the riverbank, something caught his eye, a glass coffin drifting gently downstream in a small boat. Inside lay the girl from his vision, Snow White. Her still, pale face filled the prince with sorrow. Heart-aching, he lifted the lid of the coffin and drew from his pocket a necklace made of stardust. Placing it around her neck, he whispered, "Goodbye, my princess. Shine like a star wherever you are." But before he could turn away, he saw Snow White stir. The stardust necklace, filled with magic, had rewarded the prince for his faithful search. Slowly, Snow White's eyes fluttered open, and life returned to her once more. When she awoke, she gazed up in wonder at the handsome prince who had saved her. Grateful and overjoyed, she took his hand, and together they journeyed back to her father's castle. There, Snow White and Prince Antoine told the king everything. Furious at Queen Hela's treachery, the king banished her from the kingdom forever. He ordered the magic mirror, along with all of Hela's possessions, locked deep within the castle dungeon. Peace seemed to return at last, until, just as Snow White and the prince prepared to share a meal together, they heard a mysterious voice calling from within the house. "Always nibbling on my house," muttered a voice. Hansel and Gretel looked up to see a sweet-looking old woman standing in the doorway. She smiled warmly, and when the children told her of their troubles, she appeared to pity them. "Oh, you poor dears," she said kindly. "Come inside, and I will take care of you." Grateful and unsuspecting, Hansel and Gretel stepped into the house. But when they turned around, the old woman's gentle smile had vanished. Before them now stood a wicked witch. The house they thought was safe, a cottage decorated with cakes and candy, was nothing but her trap. When the children tried to escape, they found the door locked tight. With a cruel laugh, the witch seized Hansel by the hair and shoved him into a cage. Then she dragged Gretel roughly toward the kitchen, her dark plan unfolding. A terrible spell spread across the kingdom, and soon every man, woman, and child fell into a deep sleep. But instead of sweet dreams, they were plagued by nightmares, and children wept in their slumber. Meanwhile, the Rose Princess remembered the little bird's advice. She filled a large tub with water and sprinkled a handful of red rose petals across its surface. The water shimmered and turned crimson. Carefully, she dipped her hair into the tub, and before her eyes, her dark strands glowed red once more. "Roses make my hair smile," she cried joyfully. The bird had spoken the truth, the curse was broken. The wicked witch, seeing her spell undone, grew furious. "Alakazam! Palakazam! Let the roses wither! Let the Rose Princess be silent," she screeched. With a wave of her hands, every rose in the kingdom wilted, and then she fled into the night. Where the princess's tears had fallen, a single strand of her red hair transformed into a dazzling rose. A young man discovered it, and recognizing its magic, brought it straight to the princess. She stood sadly beside her rose-petal bath, but when she saw the man enter, her heart leapt. "You! I remember you," she exclaimed. "Yes," he said gently. "I am your childhood friend. And this flower, this rose, is for you, my Rose Princess." Overcome with joy, she dropped the rose into the water and dipped her hair once more. Instantly, the witch's dark curse shattered. Her hair blazed red with life again. Realizing that the power of love had defeated her, the witch knew she could never win and fled to lands far, far away. But elsewhere, another tale was about to begin. A poor man once promised his first child to a witch if she would help his wife. And when a beautiful baby girl was born with golden hair like sunlight, the witch came to claim her. They named her Rapunzel. Camilla, the witch, raised Rapunzel as her own. Every day she combed the girl's hair, which grew longer and more radiant. But Camilla never cut it. Instead, she secretly snipped strands for her cauldron, using them to spin pure gold. Ah, my magic! These golden hairs will make me rich forever, she cackled. Deep in the forest, Camilla built a tall, lonely tower. It had no stairs, only one small room with a single window. There she locked Rapunzel away, keeping her golden hair safe. Rapunzel grew up in that tower, completely alone, for 18 long years. One day, Prince Rob, who had been born the same day as Rapunzel, rode his horse through the forest. As he passed, he heard a song so sweet it seemed to float with the wind. Enchanted, he searched for the voice until he saw the tower, though no door could be found. Just then, Camilla arrived. The prince, knowing her reputation as a cruel and wicked witch, hid quickly in the bushes. Rapunzel! Rapunzel! Camilla called up. Let down your golden hair. And from the window above, Rapunzel uncoiled her shimmering braid, letting it fall so Camilla could climb to her. The next day, Prince Rob returned to the tower. Imitating the witch's voice, he called out, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your golden hair. The voice sounded strange, but Rapunzel obeyed. Down tumbled her shining braid, and the prince climbed carefully to the top. When she saw him, Rapunzel gasped in fear. Who are you? How did you get here? The prince bowed politely. Miss Rapunzel, I wish to take you beyond this tower, to walk among the flowers, to wander the forest, and to meet the gentle animals of the world. Rapunzel's heart leapt. She had longed to see life outside the tower for as long as she could remember. Without hesitation, she agreed. But before they could escape together, Camilla returned. Rapunzel, let down your golden hair, she cried. Yet when she reached the room at the top, Rapunzel was gone. Only a severed braid lay across the floor. The witch shrieked in rage. My gold! My gold is gone! Far away, another witch brewed her own dark plans. Witch fury stirred her cauldron, muttering bitterly. Bobby, get out of here. You will spill my potion of unhappiness across the land. Her clumsy helper ignored her, and in her frustration, the witch poured too much sugar into the brew. Let laughter turn to tears. Let joys become troubles. Let dreams twist into nightmares, she chanted. But Bobby tripped, tangling himself in her robes. Fury stumbled into her broom, knocking the potion onto her little dog. To her horror, the creature transformed into a bouncing piece of candy. Bobby! No! Come back, she wailed, chasing after it. The candy dog bounded through the window, tumbled into a pool, and melted away. Devastated, Witch Fury vowed to punish anyone who mocked her. On Halloween night, she disguised herself with a giant pumpkin headdress and walked the streets with her potion. Trick or treat, she cried at the first door. Treat, said the man, holding out candy. At once, she sprayed him with her potion and turned him into a giant sweet. Now laugh at me, she snarled. She moved from door to door, transforming people into candies, until a girl named Millie appeared. Out feeding the strays, Millie was horrified to see candies bouncing through the streets. Stop! Who are you, and what are you doing to these people? She demanded. The witch turned to run, but Millie caught sight of a small puppy playing among the candies. She picked him up gently and carried him back. This dog looks just like mine, the witch whispered, eyes softening. Oh, he's so sweet. The bitterness melted from her heart. I will keep him as my friend. His name will be Candy. With her new companion, Witch Fury restored the people to their human forms. Far away, in the ocean kingdom of King Poseidon, another story was unfolding. The Sea King's daughter, Arya, swam through the waves when a terrible storm struck. Lightning shattered the skies, and a ship overturned in the chaos. Among the wreckage, she found a flute, and then, sinking fast, the prince. Seizing his hand, she pulled him to shore. Wake up! Please wake up, she begged. The prince stirred, amazed to be alive, and even more astonished to see the beautiful red-haired mermaid beside him. But when Arya heard a dog barking nearby, she fled back to the sea, afraid to be discovered. Desperate, she sought out the sea witch Vega in the dark part of the ocean. Vega's two-headed serpent guard announced her arrival. Vega! The king's daughter comes. She will be yours. Arya trembled, but entered. She wished only to see the prince again. Vega agreed to help, at a price. I will brew a potion to give you legs, so you may walk and dance with your prince. But in return, I will take your voice. And remember this, the spell lasts only 3 days. If he does not love you by then, you will forget him forever. Arya accepted. She drank the potion, but without her voice, she could not tell the prince who she was. Day after day passed. By the 3rd day, she wept, certain her hope was lost. But then her sisters, her grandmother, and at last her father appeared in a great wave. My daughter, King Poseidon said, I tried to protect you, but you were brave enough to face danger. I have recovered your voice, sealed in the seashell. The witch's spell is broken, you will remember us always. He raised his trident, and the shell shattered. Arya's voice returned in a rush of song. My voice. Oh, thank you, my family. I love you so much. In a distant desert, another dark figure lived. The witch Erin dwelled in a sandbound shelter, granting evil magic to greedy men in exchange for gold and jewels. One day, as he worked at his potions, a crow swooped inside, cawing wildly and pecking at his head. Hey! Stop that, bird! Erin shouted, swatting at it. But the crow only grew louder, circling and knocking bottles from the shelves. Furious, Erin hurled potions at it, yet the bird dodged them all. At last, he grew suspicious. This is no ordinary crow, he plucked sharp cactus thorns, feeling no pain. Dropping them into a boiling brew, he added a single drop of yellow potion. At once, the water darkened to tar black. As soon as Erin muttered the magic words, a cloud of smoke swirled around the crow. The bird fell to the ground, fluttered weakly toward the cauldron, and took a sip. In that instant, the crow vanished with a loud bang, and from the smoke emerged the evil Jabber. Ha! At last, the spell is broken. Jabber cried. Erin crossed his arms smugly. Thanks to me. Now, tell me who cursed you and pay me for breaking the spell. But Jabber's pockets were empty. He stammered nervously. This is the first time I've seen a male witch. Whose servant are you? Erin's face darkened. I am no one's servant. Either pay me or I'll turn you back into a crow. He raised his hands, ready to cast another spell. Terrified, Jabber pleaded, Wait. I have no money, but there is a genie. Yes, a genie who can grant you riches, treasures, even a palace. He lives in Aladdin's magic lamp. Erin's eyes gleamed with greed. A genie, you say? Then take me to this lamp. The two villains set off at once. When they reached Aladdin's palace, they slipped past the guards and crept inside. The golden lamp shimmered before them. Just as Jabber reached for it, Princess Jasmine appeared, carrying a sack. She froze in shock at the sight of the intruders. You clumsy fools. Drop that lamp, she shouted. Erin snatched the lamp and rubbed it furiously. Nothing happened. Furious, he rounded on Jabber. If this is a trick, I'll turn you into a worm. But Jasmine blurted out, the genie isn't in the lamp. At that, Jabber grabbed the lamp and leapt out the window. Erin's fury boiled over, still no riches, no genie, and no reward. He conjured a glowing hourglass in his hands and, with a chant, trapped Jasmine inside. No. What have you done? She cried, her voice muffled behind the swirling sands. If you don't bring me the genie within a few days, Erin sneered, she will remain imprisoned forever. With a sweep of his cloak, he vanished. Later, a voice echoed outside Erin's lair. Open the door, witch. It's me, Prince Aladdin. I come with an offer. Erin raised an eyebrow but let him in. Aladdin entered with his folded flying carpet. Erin gasped when the carpet hovered to life. What is this marvel? I've never seen such magic. If you free Jasmine, Aladdin bargained, my palace and guards will serve you. But Erin's gaze was fixed on the carpet. No. I want that instead. The carpet quivered in fear, hiding behind Aladdin. But I offer you a palace. Aladdin protested. The carpet, or the princess stays trapped forever, Erin barked. Reluctantly, Aladdin agreed. The carpet, trembling, glided toward Erin, who seized it triumphantly. He placed the hourglass on a stone, muttered an incantation, and with a flash of yellow light, Jasmine appeared, free at last. Aladdin rushed to embrace her, but Aaron interrupted. Now tell me where the genie is. Neither of them answered. They fled quickly while Aaron mounted his stolen carpet and soared into the desert storm, lamp in hand. Tossed by the sands, Aladdin and Jasmine stumbled upon a hidden door in the cliffs. With a push, they entered the cave, and there, weakened and fading, was the genie. Genie! Aladdin cried. What happened to you? I've been too long away from the lamp, the genie whispered. I wanted to be human, but now I'm vanishing. Before Aladdin could reply, Aaron's voice thundered outside. Why won't this door open? They hid behind a boulder as Aaron forced the door open with a spell and stormed inside. He poured potion along the walls, and glowing blue traces revealed the genie's presence. Come out, genie. Your true master has arrived. Your lamp is here, obey me. The genie hesitated, but Aladdin warned, if you return to the lamp now, you'll never be free. He'll enslave you forever. With his last strength, the genie snapped his fingers. A crystal cage formed around Aaron, trapping him inside. What is this? Release me. Aaron shouted, but no spell could break the crystal prison. You'll never enslave me, the genie declared. Together, Aladdin, Jasmine, and the genie left the cave, leaving Aaron sealed in his prison of crystal.